you go through downturns, you have no control of anything. You can't, banks don't want to do this, but you can always kind of collateralize and take over operations in the interim if shit really hits the fan. I mean, was it just the early exposure to minerals and just getting comfortable with the ups and the downs and seeing how they performed to where you guys were okay with that non-control risk? I mean, how do you guys view that?
I think that's exactly right. You know, COVID era shut-ins, 2020, April, May, June. We had a significant wedge of these facilities on the books, and it was pretty funny because I think Jared and I both were diehard believers in the asset class and what we were doing, but it was a developing um, uh, financing structure within the firm, and it was kind of funny to there's some skeptics here and there, and as we were working, and then you have this down cycle is pretty severe. In some cases, some of our clients, I mean, their revenues were dropping near to zero, and it was, and I think for me, this was where we really knew we were on to something, and the risk chain, and we basically went through that down cycle. We used our heads, looked at the asset valuation, saw that abrupt drop in prices was going to result in return of production. There was liability free revenue stream, right? So um, there was no required capital in order to restart revenue. So as long as we were patient, observant, we knew we were working with good, honest folks. We watched that revenue rebound. In August, you started to see it come back on, and then sure enough, it held its integrity in a textbook manner. And when we were, I think around the fourth quarter of that year in 2020, our risk team, we were kind of running some analytics over the, lessons learned, what happened. Let's look at the portfolio. Let's, evaluate various metrics and just watch the trends. And the takeaway from that, I'll never forget this. Our senior credit officer just kind of looked up at Jared and I was like, I think we should do more of these mineral deals.